Some of the funniest commercials you'll see on TV are ads for home insurance. But what is not funny at all is the Florida home insurance rates. They're the highest in the country by far, and many of the big name insurers that you would know have already left the state altogether. When it comes to homeowners insurance rates nationally, it's clearly a Florida problem. While the national average has increased some over the last decade, homeowners insurance rates in the state have tripled since just 2019. That's $6,000 a year on average for coverage. That's over $4,000 more than the national average. And it's led national insurers like Farmers and AAA to withdraw coverage altogether from Florida. Obviously, higher rates hurt homeowners altogether, but with less competitors in the market, less homeowners insurance policies to choose from, this problem compounds and just gets worse. And again, with less insurance companies in the game, the ones that are still active have minimal competition and can charge higher premiums then. And that has sent homeowners seeking coverage to the state-run Citizens Property Insurance. And Citizens Insurance is generally considered the last resort for insurance coverage. But in the last year, they've gone from 6% to 16% of the market share here in Florida. The higher that number goes, the greater the risk of that state coverage being unable to cover its policies in the event of a natural disaster. And as you know, Florida is not unlikely to have a natural disaster. So what's the solution? Well, that depends on who you ask. Recently, former Governor Rick Scott weighed in on the situation and how he thinks it could be fixed. Number one, we need to start by nurturing the private insurance market. We want these companies to stay, not leave like they've been doing. We need to crack down on fraudulent claims, and we need to regulate excessive rate hikes. The competition in the market will naturally create lower prices for the consumer. Number two, and this is really an annoying one, I've personally experienced this very recently on many of my properties. Any of the reforms we put in place need to guarantee fair treatment towards families by insurers. One way of doing this is by extending the notification of non-renewals from 60 days, which is just not enough time, to at least 120 days, so families can better prepare for what's to come. And number three, we really should restructure Citizens Insurance to make sure it's adequately funded without piling on all these fees and taxes. I can speak from experience, this is super annoying. Now, those are certainly some constructive options. Shout out Rick Scott. Now let's hear from some others who are very close to the matter on how we're going to appease both homeowners and insurance providers. Enter former Florida Senate Insurance Committee Chairman John Grant. One of his suggestions is to include adding cash value coverage in the homeowners' policies. It's currently allowed in about 40 states, not including Florida though. And what this does is it takes away the incentive from dishonest roofers who really push for total loss claims. Additionally, consumers will save because they will have more choices in coverage. And like Scott, John Grant suggests building up the talent for Florida's Fraud Task Unit. Many experts close to the situation point to fraud as the main source of this debacle, more than any partisan politics, because the crisis is really a lose-lose for everyone here in Florida. The reality is that this insurance crisis is the result of many compounding factors that have not been addressed for some time. And there's not one single solution to resolve these issues. So I would expect that this does not get handled right away, and the insurance bills will continue to rise in the near future. Despite all these headwinds, the South Florida real estate market has been surprisingly resilient, but I don't think this is going to last forever, especially if we don't correct these homeowners insurance rates for the long term.